everybody. It's Friday morning. Happy Friday. And here we are live. I'm just playing with my little water bottle there. So today we're going to make enchiladas, and I was going to announce it and I got so busy this morning I didn't, but anyway, you can do the replay if you want to join me in making it. So because we don't really eat meat, we're using a Ives. I know it's backwards on here. It's there's a Ives original ground veggies. They're ground veggies. Anyways, there are many different oh my gosh, brands. Like, there's all kinds. Ives happens to make a Mexican brand of this ground veggie, and it's really, really good, and you hardly need any Mexican spices or anything, and it's awesome. But they were out of it, so we're making our own. So we're taking this ground veggie and we're putting it here right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to start with the sauce. And the so the sauce here, I kind of warmed it up first because usually I like a 15-minute meal, but you know, this is a little bit pickier, but once it's made, then you know, you're pretty good to go, so it doesn't take too long. So what I've done here for the enchilada sauce, is the homemade enchilada sauce, is I've added 2 cups of water, and then the I thought I had them out here, but anyway, the little veggie cubes. So you can get the little vegan veggie cubes or any kind of vegetable stock, and put 2 of those in here with the 2 cups of water, and then 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, which I haven't done yet because I thought I'd show you. So that's this, and the reason that I did this beforehand was because I needed it to cool, because we're going to add flour to it. And of course, anything that you add flour to that you want to make some, you know, thicken, you don't want it lumpy, so you have to have it cold. So I couldn't add it hot, so that's why I added that after. So we're just going to let this sit here. It's still kind of lukewarm, and what we're going to do is just get our spices cooking a little bit. So I do have a little bit of water in my pan here, and we really kind of want to, we do want to use oil in this particular case. So I'm just waiting for the water to come down a bit, because I do kind of want to make like a little bit of an oil for the cumin, and then we'll add more water. So we're going to add cumin, and I'm just going to pour that out because I didn't want the pan to burn, so I put a little bit of water in it. But I'm just going to put this right here, actually. Okay, so because it's always, you know, one of the secrets to fast cooking is to keep your pan hot, but you have to always be at it, right? You always have to be watching it. So we've got hardly any water in here. I'm just going to let that water dissipate and add a little bit of olive oil. Because when you're working with whole seeds, you want to use you want to use oil with seeds, because it helps them to break open and it helps the aroma and the flavor to come out. And then when you're working with powders, you want to use a liquid, like a water or whatever your liquid is. Okay, so that water is pretty much gone. I'm just going to add about, not very much, 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And just enough to pop these cumin seeds. And so I'm going to add the cumin seeds and let them get hot. So that's like about a level teaspoon. And hi everybody, how you doing? So we're going to do the cumin, and we're going to let that get a little bit warm for those to pop, and then that aroma just comes out and it smells so amazing. So we're going to leave that for a minute and go with, we're going to go with finding our spoon. There's our spoon. So we're going to let those cumin seeds pop. Hear that? I don't know if you can see it, but they're starting to pop. You can hear it. Okay, so they're just starting to pop. So, so then we're going to add a little bit of the liquid here. I'm just going to make sure the heat's high. They're still popping open. And now we want to add the rest of our spices. So we're going to add a little bit of this. Oh, there. So that just really brings the flavor out. So when it's doing that, turn it down a little bit, but we just want a little bit of the flavor coming out. Enough to get it to just calm down a little bit. Okay, so we've got that. You can see the our liquid and the seeds, and so we're going to add the actual cumin here. We're going to add the powder. So the powder is 2 teaspoons of the cumin powder. Mexican food usually has quite a bit of cumin in it, not always, but a lot. So, and my cumin seems to be, you should never do this over steam, by the way. Don't open your spices over steam because it ruins your spices. So I might have to fix that. Okay, so we've got the cumin. We need 2.5 teaspoons of garlic. Lots of garlic in this. I'm going to turn it down again because it's simmering. And I'm going to grab my clean spoon for my garlic. This is a, you could use a garlic powder, but this is a garlic granule. And so we've got 2 teaspoons of that, 2.5. Actually, these are a little bigger than regular teaspoons, so that's about it. I'm such a good measurer. I'm going to add just a little more of the broth because I don't want it to really simmer too much. And just calm that down a little bit. And then we're going to add our onion. So this is a, it's not an onion powder, it's onion granules. So a little bit less, about 1.5 teaspoons of the onion granules. And we're going to add oregano. And I know I brought it here. Where did my oregano run off to? Oh, where is it? Oh my goodness. I'm just looking across the kitchen. I know I brought it here. There's the cumin, there's the oregano. Oh, we need to add paprika. And so we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of paprika as well. So we'll do that while I'm thinking about where I put the... Now you can add, this is a smoked paprika, so it does add that flavor, so I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon. And you can get apparently a sweet paprika, which I didn't really know about, and that would be really good as well. And so, oh, there's the oregano right in front of me, hiding behind our stuff here, the oregano. Okay. So we're going to go with, let me see, 3 tablespoons of oregano. And this is the homegrown oregano from my own plant. I highly encourage you to grow it. And so we have the oregano and all the spices here. You can see that with the powdered spices and the liquid. And so I am, of course, going to use cayenne, so that we spice it up. So you can use as much as you want. I'm pretty good with hand measuring my sprinkles. And so that's about as much cayenne, and this is just coming into a simmer. So what we want to do now is we just want to thicken this a little bit. And what I have here is just 3 tablespoons of rice flour so that it's gluten-free. And yeah, and I'm just going to stir that into here while this is cool, so that it doesn't make lumps. I should have actually got a whisker. I should have got a whisker. I do have a whisker. I should have gotten a metal whisker. Oh my gosh, too funny. Oh, okay. I should have gotten a whisker. I'm just gonna flatten these lumps out here because I didn't get the right whisker to whisk with. So blend this up here. Get rid of these lumps. Okay, so yeah, whenever you're adding flour or anything, you always want to have it in cool water. Okay, so we're just, if you guys can see this here, how it's nice and thick already, and that's just from the spices. That's nothing to do with flour. So we're just going to add this, and you know, when you do add it, there's a few lumps at the bottom. When you do add it, you turn the heat up and then you stir, stir, stir so that it doesn't get lumpy, just like making gravy or a roux or whatever. So, yeah, so then we'll put together the enchiladas. And good morning, Karen. Hi. Yeah, so we're just putting this together. I think you can see it pretty good. And so anyways, so I looked up a little bit of the folklore for chili peppers and cayenne and stuff, and basically the Latin word is capsicum. So you can see on the label capsicum for cayenne, and so it said that that chili peppers are from the dominion of Mars, and so I don't know what that means, but anyways, Mars is known as the ancient god of war. And so the chili peppers were there, and apparently they used them for warding off werewolves and other animals like that, the chili peppers. So it wasn't just garlic for vampires. It was, well, actually it is garlic for vampires, but they use chili peppers for vampires too. But also, specifically, chili peppers are for werewolves. So if you're trying to get rid of any werewolves, these are the things that get rid of them. Apparently that's the peppers, right? They would hang the peppers. And so anyway, I was just looking this stuff up to see what the if there was anything interesting to do with chili peppers, and yeah, so they have been used to ward things off, kind of like garlic. So yeah, so this is, you can see it's thickening up a little bit, so I'm just going to keep an eyeball on that. I'll keep one eye on there and one eye on you and one eye on what I'm doing here. So good luck with that. Okay, so I'm going to put that just on a low. I'm going to put together the tortillas, and unfortunately I don't have gluten-free tortillas, but you know, you can't be perfect all the time, and I'm so not perfect about anything that I do. I just try, you know, and if it comes close enough, it's close enough. So the tortillas, so we'll put one tortilla in here, and we're going to, this is just bubbling away, we're going to take a little scoop of each thing and put it on here. So I'm just putting a little scoop, and I should have actually put this in a bowl, but you don't need much. It's good for you guys to see the packaging for the new people. It just came on anyways of what I'm doing. So it's a little bit of the veggie ground, and I'm just looking because I did think I saw a little piece of plastic in there, so I'll take that out. Don't want that. And I do have, you know, I've bought so many different types of refried beans, and I really like Amy's organic. I really do. But again, in these times of not wanting to go to the store very often, I happen to have my emergency supply, and these have no fat in them either. So they are they're vegan refried beans. So we're going to use these, although I have to say Amy's is way nicer, but you know, I'm not going to go running to the store during these times for one thing. So we're going to just make do. And they're not bad, you know, they taste fine. So that's a little bit of the ground beef, a little bit of the beans. We're going to add, I just cooked some, turn this down again. See, it's bubbling really nice. A little bit of rice that I just cooked up. So we're going to add a little bit of rice in here as well. And I would like to use a whole grain or darker rice, but there are people around here that aren't that crazy about it. They're crazy about a lot of things, but like pretty much eat anything. But brown rice just isn't one of the ones that really fly around here. So, you know, again, you have to try your best, but you can't be perfect. At least I don't think anyone can. Okay, a little bit of corn. And so we're going to add some corn to it. And, oh, the fresh salsa that we made yesterday. Yay. I'm going to stir that again. Turn that down. Okay, so a little bit of the fresh salsa. And, yeah. Okay, so, and I do have a, I'm not going to put it in, I'm just going to sprinkle some on top, but some of the Daya. You can get the Daya in the shreds, and so that's the dairy-free cheese. Okay, that looks really good. So I'm just going to actually turn that off pretty much and let it sit. So we're going to, hi Jane. So we're going to just fold this over. Can you see? Just fold it over like that. And this is pretty stuffed. So, you know, normally I don't make them that thick, but I'm just going to try and tighten it up and then roll it over and put the seam on the bottom. I'll show you like that. Okay, so basically that's it. We're going to roll these guys up and we're going to pour the sauce over and add a little bit of the Daya cheese. And that's it. So it's super easy. You know, the hardest part is the making the sauce if you're going to make your own homemade sauce. If you don't want to make your own homemade sauce, this one is actually pretty good. The Casa Fiesta is pretty good, and it's not too bad for ingredients either. I think it's pretty natural, you know, as far as canned things go. But anyway, we made our own enchilada sauce, so that's even better. And so back to a little bit of rice and the ground, the beans, the rice, the corn. That's it, the corn. I need to put them in a row. Corn. And the fresh salsa. So that's pretty much it. So easy peasy. If you guys feel like hanging around, I'll make one more and then I'll put the sauce over so you can see it. I'm a little froggy today. I don't know why. It must be the allergies out there. It must be the allergies. It must be the pollens. Okay, so again, just squish it around and put the seam at the bottom so it stays together. And then take another tortilla shell and same thing. Easy peasy. Just like, I don't know, a little assembly line. So yeah, there are a lot of different ground companies out there with different ones. And one of the ones, this one's very plain. Like if you're looking for something that tastes like regular hamburger, it's very plain and it does that. It's very, you know, not that it has no flavor, but you definitely need to do something with it. And to give it flavor. But the Ives Mexican is really, really good, and you almost don't even need like taco sauce or enchilada sauce or anything. The other company that I really like, oh my gosh, now I lost the name of it. But there's a few, and they're getting really good. Of course, Beyond Beef is well known and really, really quite an amazing job. There's so many companies out there that have the meat substitutes. And, you know, I do it because there's so much that goes on in the factory farms, you know. I mean, if you've got a farm and you're farming your own animals and they're out running around happy and everything, that's all good. But I don't have a farm and I don't raise my own animals. So I prefer to not partake in that whole factory farm thing. But, and it's better for you. You know, it really is. There's so many meat substitute. So I do it more from a health perspective. And if I was really perfectly perfect, or even a little more perfect, I'd go raw. So especially in the summer. I don't like going raw in the winter, but especially in the summer, there's nothing like raw fruits and vegetables ever. That's it. If you have any health problems, raw fruits and vegetables are, you know, that's what's going to help. Depending on what the issue is, like some people can't really digest raw, or they have a different constitution, or if they have a really more of an impaired, a weaker immune system, then they may not be able to do raw. So in that case, they would do smoothies, or in some cases, maybe juicing and or steaming the food so that they can actually absorb the nutrients. So you might want to warm the raw to room temperature so that they can actually absorb what they're eating. So it all depends. You have to work with what you have and how you are and what you have. So you always have to start with where you're at. And but the key ingredient, cooked or not cooked, is fruits and vegetables. So anyway, we're back here, back to the, look at the sauce. Isn't that awesome? So we're just going to dribble some of this over, and it's nice and thick. The consistency is perfect with just that much flour. And I'm not very good at putting each individual recipe on YouTube. So, but I will for this because it's a little bit pickier than some things. So there you go, just like that. And you can put some of the Daiya cheese over top as well if you want. It's not really my favorite company, but it's, as far as I know, it's the only one that makes the shreds. Okay, so there you go, enchiladas. There you have it. And yeah, the only other little tip for the day, you guys, is I was just looking at the fire cider that we made a couple weeks ago, and it looks fabulous. So it's got the apple cider vinegar, it's got the peppers, it's got the ginger, it's got garlic, of course, onions, and it's coming along really nicely. So we'll look at working with that more later on. So thanks for joining me. We'll see you on Monday, and have a really great weekend. And thanks. Enjoy.